Hey everyone, guess what time it is? It's science time. Now let's get learning. So, the definition of an eclipse, the word eclipse means to hide. So, when you have a solar eclipse, the sun is hiding. In this situation, the sun is hiding behind the moon. During a lunar eclipse, the moon is hiding. So, in this situation, the moon is hiding behind the Earth. So I'm using a 3D CAD program. It's called Rhino. And I just want to show another example of what's going on during a total solar eclipse, and then also kind of touch upon a lunar eclipse. So let's start off where this yellow circle is representing our sun, and this line right here, that's the Earth's orbit. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the Earth's orbit is not circular, it is in an ellipse pattern, where the sun is sitting at a point known as one of the focal points. Now, this is not to scale, but I'm just wanted a diagram of what is going on. So, here's the sun, and I'm going to show the Earth in several different positions. We're looking at these three different positions here. And now I'm not taking into account the Earth's tilt or anything of that sort. And then the moon orbiting around the Earth. So these little circles right here, if I zoom into one of these Earths, again, this is nowhere close to being to scale, but the moon's orbit is also an elliptical pattern around the Earth. Now if I rotate this sideways, you'll see, I'm going to turn off the sun, that the orbit of the moon is tilted. Okay, it is tilted at a 5-degree angle. Now again, this is not to scale, and it's not even the correct angle, but it is kind of a rough representation of what's going on. Now, when the sun is shining, it's casting a large amount of light in all different directions, and what you'll have here is a shadow. Now there's two different types of shadows. There's an umbra and a penumbra. Umbra is where you have complete blockage of light. Kind of think about if you ever stand outside and where you have the dark area of the shadow, that's your umbra. The penumbra is kind of the outer edges of that shadow, where it's a little bit more of a grayish color. Now, let's zoom in a little bit. And you'll see, let me zoom into one of the other ones. These gray cones are representing the shadows coming off of the moon and also off of the Earth. So let me turn off the shadows for a moment. Okay, so with the sunlight shining on the moon and also on the Earth, what you'll see here are shadows forming off of that. Now, if you look at the Earth, this side is the side that's going to be facing towards the sun. This side over here is basically nighttime. So we have daytime on this side, nighttime on this side. And always half of the Earth is always going to be illuminated. Same thing with the moon. Always half of the moon is going to be illuminated. Now we don't always see the half of it. And if you look real closely, you'll see there are two shadows. So let me turn off the umbra, and you have what's called the penumbra, and that's kind of the gray area. That's where you have a partial eclipse. And then also you have let me turn off the penumbra, and this represents the umbra, which is the darkest part of the shadow. All right, so again, you have the gray area of the shadow, and you have the dark area of the shadow. Now, what we're going to be mostly concerned about is the umbra. So I'm going to turn off the penumbra, just make things a little bit easier here. So let's take a look at this Earth right here. Let me turn off the sun so it's not blocking us. And if you look at this, when we're looking at the Earth right here, the moon's orbit is still going around the Earth, but it's at an angle similar to this. and it will spend part of its time above and below the earth here. And if you notice, the shadow is missing the earth. So as it circles around, that shadow will never touch the earth. Okay, and that has to do with the orbit and also where it is relative to the sun. Now, during certain types of its flight, what we're going to be experiencing is this. Is when, let me turn off the sun again, so you can see a little bit better. So what's happening for us is that the moon is going to be in front of the earth. Now, right now, the sun is behind us. And if you look from a side view, this is what's happening. Is that the moon shadow, the darkest part of the shadow, is going to be following along that line here. That is the area of totality. So when it touches the earth right here, when it touches this area right here, that is the area of totality. Now, if you're outside of that very narrow band, it's about 100, 120 miles across, you're going to be in the penumbra, where you're going to have a partial eclipse. So a big portion of the United States will see a partial eclipse, and that's the penumbra. But our area, in parts of central Ohio and going up through Texas, they're going to be seeing a total eclipse. And that's what we're going to be experiencing here in Ashland, Richland County, is a total solar eclipse. Now, there is another type of eclipse similar to this one. Let me zoom out. Let's come over to the other side here. This model over here, I am trying to demonstrate so the sun's over here, it's casting its light, it's producing a shadow, and what we have here is what's referred to as a lunar eclipse. And this is where the path of the moon is crossing through part of the Earth's shadow. Now, little trivia is that typically whenever there is a total solar eclipse, there will also be a lunar eclipse somewhere within a month of the eclipse. And if I remember correctly, there should be a lunar eclipse about 2 weeks before the total solar eclipse. And it won't be a total lunar eclipse, but it'll be a good portion of it will be. And that's because it's in the same plane as the Earth's orbital plane. So as you can see here, this thin white line is the path the moon is taking, and it's crossing through the Earth's shadow. So let me get rid of the Earth and its shadow. So you can see the moon, and bring back the Earth. The moon is behind the Earth, the sun is behind us, and the shadows being cast. It's penumbra and it's umbra. And that will be a total, in this situation, this will be a total lunar eclipse. If it's partway through there, then it's referred to as a partial lunar eclipse. So again, let me turn off the penumbra. So this is a situation, this model right here is showing a lunar eclipse when you have the sun, the Earth, and the moon inside of the moon is inside of the Earth's shadow. Or what we will be experiencing is a solar eclipse, is where the moon is going to be eclipsing or hiding the sun. And then most of the time, like in this model right here, you don't have anything because the moon the moon's orbit does not cross over the Earth. So you can kind of see somewhat three-dimensionally what's happening here. Whereas opposed to this side, you can see kind of three-dimensionally. What's happening with the moon. And then on this side, the moon is inside of the Earth's shadow. So I hope this explains things. I'm going to be showing another demonstration. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching.